The NeuroDADverse Podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. Hello and welcome back into the NeuroDADverse. I'm Ben, this is Dan, we're both parents of neurodivergent children, and this podcast is for us to share our wins and challenges about parenting neurodivergent children. Good afternoon, Dan, how are you?
Good afternoon, Ben. I'm good, thank you. Enjoying some nice end of Easter break for me, sunny weather.
Yes, I'm enjoying some middle of Easter break, sunny weather as well. Which is always nice. We normally set up the start by doing our week in 3 words. What did you go for this week, my friend?
So my week in 3 words this week is cuts, clubs, and changes.
Oh, triple C. I've gone for an alliterative vibe as well.
Oh,
I've gone for healing, hurrying, and hearing.
okay.
So stick around to find out what those things are for. Cool. So we normally split the podcast into our challenges and our wins, and we increasingly find in our previous 43 episodes there's some overlap, and that's definitely happening for me this week. But why don't you tell me what your challenges or your challenge was this week, my friend?
So for first time in a little while, I think I do not have overlapping challenges and wins, which is nice.
We'll see. We'll see.
I overall, being my second week of Easter, I still feel like I've had a winning week, which is nice. After feeling like I was not winning most of the weeks prior to Easter with struggles with school, trips in mornings, etc. So I don't have a massive overwhelming challenge. But something that I have noticed that if it continues can be potentially challenging is it refers to my changes in my 3 words. So Frankie's going through a bit of a regression in behaviour when it comes to being changed after he's gone to the toilet, be it number 1 or number 2. He isn't really vibing what was working as a really well-oiled machine. He would go to the toilet, I'll say, shall we go change now? And he would just either, if he was closer than I was, he would go to the toilet, downstairs bathroom, open the door, go in. If he was behind me, he would just follow me in and literally change. It got to the point where it's like a Formula 1 pit stop compared to what it used to be.
Yeah.
It was done in a matter of minutes instead of whatever. But now it's taken like 15, 20 minutes, maybe even longer. I kind of lose count when you're kind of just like, we just want this to happen. And yeah, we've had to sort of not change in the toilet. We've had to sort of change in the hallway or the reception area, like when you first come in the front door. So I don't know if something's scared him from being in there, or he's just not vibing it, but maybe you can't have it all, maybe. So just a little bit there. It's just a bit frustrating, obviously, when he does need to change. That can be annoying. Luckily, it hasn't happened when we've been out and about, because we've been on half time and we've been doing outs.
Yeah.
So that was a saving grace, potentially, because, he's just not really... And he just looks at us like, what are you going on about? And we're like, you need to be changed. So, that's just a little bit unsettling potentially if that continues going into school next week. But
okay,
I don't really know how to get around it.
Possible alternative analysis for you?
Hit me.
Might be a pull for independence. Like I don't need you in here to do it with me, or I don't need I just I speak from experience. Lots and lots of times we were changing Oscar or helping Oscar to get changed from the toilet specifically, but clothes, we're still in the vibe of like having to give them support and structure. But the physical actually like changing in terms of going to the toilet, like, yeah, we would have a roller coaster ups and downs of spikes in behavior when that was happening, and you can't just grit your teeth and get through it.
Yeah, that's basically what we're doing. I'm just like, oh, what, this was going so well, but okay,
So,
maybe
yeah,
drag
but
me down to earth a bit.
But then it's not always an upward graph, is it? There's going to be like different challenges. At some point, he's always going to feel like, I don't know, in simplistic terms, oh, I'm too old for this. What are you doing this for?
Yeah, potentially. And
Yeah,
is it
and
time?
it's not like he doesn't know I need to get changed now. You know?
Yeah, I just thought there must be because he doesn't usually like being in particularly wet or messy nappies. So maybe it's time to try and see if he doesn't want to do that anymore. Maybe, but yeah, I don't know. It's just
but that mad thing is that's my shot is the benefit of hindsight. But I remember being exactly where you are. I was like going, well, if we do stop like kid pants or like nappies or whatever, they're just going to soil themselves. And what's that like? But actually, with that benefit of hindsight, I'm not saying that's exactly what you want, but neurodivergent kids, certainly Oscar and perhaps Frankie, you had to go through that soiling to go, I don't want that to happen. I better wipe and get changed. But it's not easy when you're in it at all, because you just feel like everything I can do for this child is what I will try to do.
Exactly.
And then when that changes, you're thinking, but I think that's, I think you'll manage it well enough.
Well, we'll just have to see. He hasn't been with me for 2 days this week because clubs was one of my boys. He had 2 days at his sort of club that he goes where our parents aren't required to be there. It's like a fully staffed club, and to my knowledge, he was fine there. So it's only really been me and him Tuesday and Friday this week.
Okay.
But it was definitely happening on Friday. It was happening a little bit today and yesterday as well. So yeah, like the last few days, he's just wants to be, maybe like you say, independence. Maybe just wants to be left alone. And Frankie is very much, I'll do things in my own time. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
regardless
totally, right?
of health and safety, danger, whatever else, is like you can't force the kid to do anything he doesn't want to do. So, yeah, that was kind of that. It's just been sort of a noticeable, like, oh, we've spent about an hour today trying to do something that we got down to like under 5 minutes, and it is noticeable. You don't realize how good you have something until it is gone or it changes. So that was sort of the main one, and the sort of smaller. He's face hitting or chin hitting stim now a couple of times this week. He's done it so much he's actually starting to make his chin red. But on investigation, just prior to bath before recording, I think his last front bottom tooth's come through, and I was like, do you think that's it? He's been hitting his chin because he's had toothache, but he hasn't been going to the fridge to get medicine like he would have done. Like he would go and I'd be like, do you want it, this, and he would put my hand towards the medicine. So we're going to offer him some medicine. I think Amy just said while I'm up here, she was going to offer him some medicine, see if he wants it. Because, yeah, it could have been that, which was one of our thought processes. But whenever we got medicine out, he didn't want it. So
that makes utter sense, though.
Well, I'm hoping, because that's a logic I can definitely understand and follow. But if it's not, then maybe it's just the stim, and he, like you say, just likes the sensation. And unfortunately, it could be pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
but stims are usually, I say usually, there's no usual, there's just each individual kid. But there are lots of stims that are related to sensory needs, right? That's what they are. They're to ground you for your for the thing that you're finding overwhelming or impacting on your experience. So covering your ears, for example, and running back and forth across the corners. It can be because it's too loud. So it would make sense. Ideally, the important thing is that you're thinking it could be this. Whether you find out the reason for the stim necessarily or not, the important thing is that you're like willing to just accept it is the most important thing, and then secondly, just check that how safe that is for the kid. So,
I have noticed that
think-
he is more likely to do the chin hitting stim when he's standing and moving around. When he's sitting down, it's much less frequent. So I don't know if it's something to do with where he's moving around and maybe he just gets a little bit whelmed, and
of course,
and he's more likely to be whelmed whilst moving around as opposed to sitting down and chilling. So I have noticed that having 2 weeks with him now, I've noticed more. If he's sitting down, he's less likely to do it. But yeah, that's pretty much the sort of challenges in my otherwise winning week.
Lovely stuff.
What's been slightly challenging for you this week, or a big challenge for you this week? Not work, because you've been off.
Work never comes into this.
No, it doesn't.
Podcast. Well, that's not true. Slowly, some overlaps, and there's a little bit of overlap today. I think it's just where I personally and professionally interact with teenagers. I haven't been doing that for about a week.
Yeah, the percentage of teenagers encountered is now like 1% of what you're used to.
Yeah. I will be honest and say that the positives are I am probably able to meet more our teens with a little bit more curiosity than judgment, which is great, and probably a lot more patience and understanding and time, which helped particularly on a couple of these challenges, which kind of they overlap. But I've also had a more boring week than I normally do because the teens definitely give me energy. So not complaining. I wouldn't want to work every week. It's nice to have a break. But yeah, so the kind of challenge this week, there's a couple, but the main was the kind of sociable stuff. So given a block of 2 weeks, our kids tend to treat that in very different ways. Mabel attempts to pack in as much stuff as she can, and towards the end of it, feel bad about herself that she hasn't achieved the things she wants to achieve. Lots of those things are social things, and a list of people. I never get to see these people throughout the week. I want to organize this. I want to organize that. She had a friend's birthday. She went for a sleepover for a period of like 4 days, which was cool. We didn't mind. We know the other parent pretty well, so that was fine, and they had a nice time. But it
4
was
days
the
is a
point at
holiday.
which,
I love that.
yeah. It's the and then it was like, I'm probably going to stick around here till a bit longer tomorrow or whatever. And given them the space and the freedom, and I said, "Oh, cool, but we've got some friends coming down with their kids, and like we're gonna have something to eat at ours, and then go for a walk on the beach. Would love for you to join us if you're up for that." The response we got was, "Not going to lie, I'll probably come home and have the fattest sleep of my life." And I said, "That's absolutely fine. No problem.
That is sleep.
Work out what time you're coming home. We're going out between X time and Y time." And Mabel, right in the middle of that X and Y time, something snapped, and she just immediately wanted to be home in bed now. And the time it was, the public transport, she'd been away for like those 4 days with her friend. She had 3 or 4 bags. Like, it was a lot for her. So we had to kind of reasonably go, "Hey, you know what? Like, that's cool, but here's a time we can do that later on." And she unraveled a bit. I'm not ashamed to say that it was really difficult, because she was like, "No, it needs to happen now. Like, I need this to happen now. I need someone to get me now." We were like
Mm.
in the middle of walking
An
on the beach,
activity.
having an ice cream. So we just had to. We'd walked into town as well, so we so along the beach. So yeah, it was the challenge was. You also don't necessarily know if she's the best reporter of what's happening, because she would in that moment say, "Well, I'm not really sure how long I can stay here, to be honest." So it's kind of like, okay, fine. We just said, "Well, we'll do what we can." That wasn't enough for her, so we were like, "Look, one of us is going home now." But yeah, it was just with all the kindness that we were able to do, it just got to the point that she was super demanding and almost like in chaos.
Mm.
And I think without diagnosis, we would have probably been pretty judgmental about that. Like, that's really rude. You're not thinking about anyone else, blah, blah, blah. And that's true, but we have a reason for that. So it's kind of like...
And you had given the information before. You said, like, we're out between this time and this time. Like,
yeah. So we were able to just... I think neither Laura or I got super angry about it. We were just quite clear about it. Like, when Laura eventually went to collect her and said, this happened. I stopped doing this and this and this. Now this has impacted on what we were doing in the day. Mabel respectfully got that and came straight in the house and like apologized for it and said, like, it was just really overwhelming. I just needed to get kind of out of there. And we were like, okay, that's fine. So we didn't treat it as a deliberate disrespect. It was almost like, in her mind, it was very reasonable to get collected. And of course, go collect your kid, and it would have been fine. But we had clashing things. So, so I think it was a challenge. I wouldn't class it as also a win, but I think how we responded to the challenge between Laura and I was really good. We didn't let it kind of overarch the whole thing. And once she came in and apologized, it was done. We drew a line under it.
Yeah,
we didn't do that classic. We're trying really hard not to do that classic. Well, that shaming thing, which is like, well, next time you've got to think about other people before you think about yourself. Because what's very clear with Mabel's diagnosis is that she is 15 and she is going. What's important is that I meet my needs, and then everyone else's needs come second. Both in terms of like her sensory and particularly her emotional needs, and knowing when she needs rest and knowing when she feels burnout. Which feels unkind to say, but like, there's no much point us telling her, because she experiences time very much like, what's going on for me now? Don't worry about what's going on in the future.
The future's so far away. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't exist. It's not happening now. So why would I even concern myself with it?
Yeah.
Until it's right around the corner, and then it's like hyper anxiety. I haven't done enough. So we'll continue to do that. And the other massive challenge happened this morning. She had a football match, an away match, but the venue was in an old but very familiar and uncomfortable place. It was on the site of her previous school. Yeah.
So mentally, a lot to deal with.
Oh yeah. She asked me to message her coach and say that, like, she was feeling super anxious about even being near the building. And if you're a long-time listener, you'll have heard us kind of go through this and change Mabel's school. But you probably didn't find out the reasons why, and that's out of respect for Mabel's request of like it not necessarily being spoken too much about, so I can speak about it from my perspective. But I think if you hear that, you understand that it's quite serious. And we are through it and out the back of it now, but it's just is immediately like, oh, let's go into a place that deliberately brings up all of these things. And you can't really, I say you can't. It would be often simple for a lot of kids to compartmentalize. I'm just going there to play football and then I'm back. But it was just everything. And to the point at which I ended up taking her this morning. She was going to walk there or meet a friend and then walk there. That didn't end up happening. But she got up, she kitted up. I thought, okay, fine. So we got there and I just drove around. She didn't say anything on the way there. It's not too far from my house, about 10 minutes. And as I turned into the gate, she just exploded. Don't go in the car park. Don't park in the car park. Don't park in the car park down one of the roads. I can't park it. And I was like, whoa, okay. It was like she had seen a spider. Like if you're a listener and you're afraid of something, you know, that freak out that you get. That's what it was like as I was just indicating to turn into the school gates.
Right.
And what I like about it was that I went, okay. And I came back out of the turning and I turned round. I was shocked, but I didn't shame her for feeling that way. I just was able to go, okay. In the moment response would be like, for goodness sake, I'm just parking here. But actually that meant everything to her. And then as soon as she started to play,
hopefully she scored a hat trick.
No. Well, hat trick of last ditch tackles, maybe.
She's a defender, isn't she? So yeah, that's asking a lot. I know.
We scored. Yeah. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Nice.
Tackles are as good as goals. It's a controversial opinion, but I do enjoy it. Do all the things in the background that get the team to win.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
That's what we like. But after about 5 minutes, I could see her holding just under her chest and like breathing really quickly and putting her hands on her hips. And she hadn't really exerted herself that much in the game. So I knew it wasn't a stitch or anything. Like, what I mean is she was playing, but it wasn't like breakneck speed. So I thought, that looks to me like an anxiety moment or phraseology that you want to use. Panic attack is what a lot of people call it. We call it anxiety moments. I use that at school and I professionally, just because people have moments of anxiety and it doesn't necessarily have to be a panic attack, but there are moments. So she had to come off and only had 11 today. And she was sat down by the side, like breathing in and out. So the ref then came over. And at that moment, I went, I don't need to get involved now. I'll let this play out. I have full faith in her coach. Her coach knows her really well. It's known her for years and years. So I let that play out. It started to rain. It had been bright sunshine. It then started to rain. And she came over to the corner where I was because it was in a cage on a 3G pitch. And she says to me, I don't want to play anymore. I said, and I just answered with the question, what did your coach say? Said I should probably have some food and see how it goes. I said, okay, I'll go and get some food. And I just went round the corner to get her some food from the corner shop. That was a lot. The reason it started raining that I thought that she also wouldn't want to play is that since it's Easter, she's had her hair dyed like half pink, half like light blue turquoisey, which her and her mum did, and was a lovely little moment because she feels super confident and she just wants to reinvent her hair every 2 weeks if she could do. But that's so she was loving it, but it's temp dye, so she knew in the rain it was going to run. So there was all these things spinning around. And I didn't tell her to not do anything. I didn't tell her to do anything. I just said, what did your coach say? I'll go and do what your coach said. By the time I came back, it was half time. She'd already gone back on. And then she played the entirety of the second half and was smiling at the end. So probably a nice point for me to throw to our break, because that is dipping into part of my win of the week. So why don't you pop back after this we'll chat some more about that. Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Welcome back. We are very hopeful that our internet has good energy. This is the NeuroDADverse podcast where we discuss all the things neurosparsely and neurosparkly and neurospicy about parenting our neurodivergent children. Just before the break, I was talking to you about my challenge, which was Mabel playing football this morning at her old school, which holds some very difficult and bad memories, but it's an incredibly familiar place to her. So the win kind of comes out from that. She did, in fact, regulate, continue to get back out there, play in a number of different positions, tackle, pass, do all the stuff that she enjoys doing, and was smiling at the end of it, having a laugh with her friends. So felt very much like a massive win for like me as a parent, for Laura and I, just to kind of sit there and go. It also, like, there was a lot on the game. It was like the top 2 in the league playing, so there was a bit of additional pressure, I guess, anxiety. But this entirely was, regardless of the game, I think she would have felt and had these experiences.
Yeah, so totally not optimal being in that venue as well for such a big game as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well done.
And also her mindset was, I want to leave. I asked her a counter question, what did your coach say? Coach said, could I get something to eat and we'll see how it goes? And then she's like, but I just want to be home. And contrary to the like I need to be home now when she's sleeping over at her friends, football is her football team and her football coach and her team are as a structure where we can see how it goes, and I leave it to them. So I went, like I said, to the corner, and just the nurturing environment, the acceptance that people have of her in that team is amazing. And also the understanding that she felt, do you know what, I'll go back on and give it a go, is massive for her, particularly in that space and the headspace that she was in. So yeah, big smiles in terms of that. And another little one is that Oscar and I had some increased gaming time together. Oscar completed another storyline arc of the Resident Evil scenario, which was really fun. And yeah, then we even got back to playing some of the co-op gaming, which they have held off because they had to complete the Resident Evil stuff. So that's been joyful, and I might even get off this call and go back to do some more, perhaps. So yeah, some decent wins all round, and hoping for some more increased. Oh, we also had a family cinema trip to go to the Mario Galaxy movie, which Oscar was all up on, pointing out all of the references and links, and yeah, just nice, happy space for us to be in the cinema together, all 4 of us.
Amazing. Lovely. No, that sounds good.
What win stuff was going on with you, my friend?
So I have 2 wins that I want to share this week. My first win was Monday, being bank holiday. Amy was off, and we decided that we would take it upon ourselves to do a double out in one day, and we managed to do so, keeping
Clarification question. Out, then home, then back out.
Out, then going from out to another out to go home.
Okay. In my experience, the thing I just explained is absolute utter madness. Out, home, back out. For most of my family, to be honest, I'm good with it. Most of the rest of my family are like, nah, it's a one thing a day. Sorry, I interrupted. Carry on.
No, that's fine. So, to be honest, it was planned as a single out day, morphed into a 2 out day. And yeah, the win here was we managed to keep relatively pretty much well regulated throughout the day. So we went and had a visit with some of Frankie's like school friends, went to their home, and we had some homemade pizza as well as some other like general snacks and whatever else. And Frankie did come and join us at the breakfast bar to eat. So two of the kids, one of the kids was on the sofa. They were chilling. That was fine. The other child was up with me, Frankie, and their mum, because their dad was just out of the shop getting some stuff. So we had a sit down lunch, which was nice. When he was finished, he went off. But eating the homemade pizza was a win. He had both like the meat offering and the cheese and tomato offering, and enjoyed both equally.
Good.
Got some pictures with him like peeling off all the meat and having him like having this salami like hanging out of his mouth, because he has historically been big on just cheese and tomato pizza of late. Oh, sorry, just cheese and tomato pizza, just cheese jam. Usually, sometimes with the meat stuff, he'll just pick it off and not eat it. So that was just a nice little win to see him eat that. It was particularly tasty, I must say. Very nicely homemade pizzas there. And then when their dad came home, he's seen him a couple of times, not as much as he sees the mum. And we all just kind of just chilled at their house for a few hours. And when it come to leaving, because they were going to go, they invited us for lunch. They were going out to do something in the afternoon. We said, okay, time to leave Frankie. He normally finds their home quite soothing and enjoys himself there. He doesn't usually like leaving. It can be a challenge. But maybe because Amy was with us on this occasion, he was quite happy to walk downstairs and go. When we turned up, actually, in the cab, which really helped it be a win. So as we were walking out of our front door to go to meet the cab in the street, one of our neighbours has a car that sounds very unwell, let's put it that way. It's very loud and shaky and rackety, and not trying to say like anything like we don't own a car, so they own a car more than us. But the particular like certain car engines sound very different to other cars.
Yeah, 100%.
This one is more of a triggering sound to Frankie as opposed to say a electric car, for instance. So it's a very different sound. So he was a bit and I had to open the car door, and he just ran and jumped into the cab. When we arrived at their house, the same thing happened, that they are literally a stone throw away from a local park. And quite often in this local park, people have the like miniature motorbikes. They're like a foot tall, and somehow adults fit on them. I don't understand how it quite. Anyway, so one of them was doing laps and was coming towards us, and Frankie was starting to like start to shout and be like, "Open this door!" But obviously we have to wait because you have to buzz to be let in. And so, considering we managed to go through all of this, that was quite like two shaky moments in the space of 10 minutes. And then when we left, he was a bit shook up because he remembered the last time he was here, there was a bad noise, he had a bad experience. So he started to walk in the opposite direction, which is where Amy's mum lives. She lives about 10-15 minutes.
Okay.
Walk. For us, it's a 10-15 minute walk. With child, 20-25 minutes. Uphill, I was like, oh, uphill hopefully will tire him out a little bit. So we walked to Nanny's, and we did a couple of hours at Nanny's, and that was nice and regulated. He had a good time. He was seeing her. And Amy's brother was in as well, so we got to see and hang out with them for a little bit. He had another snack, of course. And then we decided to get a cab home because we weren't going to push our luck. We was having a really good day at this point, so we got a cab home, and then we just had a really nice day. And that was a nice last day with the mothership being off, as we call it, the mothership. So Amy then went to work the next day, and then my big win, or bigger win, or slightly equal win, my second win was Tuesday. Was my first day soloing parenting with Frank, which is normally quite different. Usually Easter, Amy doesn't get the time off. So it felt quite weird to be almost 2/3 of the way through Easter before it was just me and Frank having a day. And we were down to do a double gym session at the Sen gym.
Yeah.
But I got the vibes in the morning he wasn't quite feeling that, and I was okay with that. It was just we book them, and if we can go, great, and if we can't go, we normally offer our friends who also go, if they want our spot, they can have our spot. So it doesn't go to waste by not going. We offer it to other people.
Yeah.
So I said, Amy, I don't think he's vibing it. Offer it to our friend. And they said, oh, wicked. Actually, that would be really good because relatives were looking after their child so they could go. So I decided that I was going to attempt and try and finish the haircut I started 2 weeks ago with Frankie. Which is where cuts comes into it. as one of my 3 words. What was my other third word? Oh, clubs. Yeah, he went to clubs, right. So cuts. So after about 10, 15 minutes, my mum come over because she was going to take us to the gym. And I said, oh, mum, actually, just stay here and chill with us in the morning and we'll see what happens. And I started cutting his hair. And after about 10 minutes, he actually come over to me and was quite happy for me to do the little jizzes. I was grabbing bits of hair just to try and make the most of the time that he would come up to me. And I did actually manage to complete all the spaces or gaps, particularly around the front. It was basically his front half of his head. He let me properly go over and I managed to go around the ears, which he doesn't like. And then I stopped. So what I did 2 weeks ago is slightly longer at the back, but the way his hair's coloured and all the lines and all the double crowns or whatever, actually looks like he's had his hair pretty well done. And I thought that was amazing because that could be quite deregulating. And at this point, he also didn't want to get dressed. And I was like, okay, that's fine. So I took his pajamas off because he doesn't like the hair, like the sensation of hair on him or whatever. He didn't like it. So I hoovered up, tied up, and I was thought nothing else of it. And then the next thing I know, he's picked up his clothes and he's walked over to me to say, dress me. Sort of in Frankie language. He just passed me his clothes. I mean, you want to get dressed? So then he let me get dressed, and then he walked me and my mum to the front door and went, oh, maybe he does want to go to the gym. Shall we go to the gym? The first session had finished, but the second session was only 20 minutes from starting. So I went, all right then. So we went and did the gym. So we bought another ticket because obviously we gave our tickets away. And then we did the gym for an hour and a half, and he was really happy, went in straight away. We didn't have any of the issues that we've had the last few weeks with not being able to get in, and that was just really good. Mum come and dropped us home, and we went and chilled in the garden because it was really hot. We went up and had bath. That was all easy. It was nice. Ice cream man turned up. I said 100% I'm getting us an ice cream. We've had a good day here. And then he was sitting there having his lemon sorbet ice cream and then come and nick the rest of mine as he usually does, because I've got sensitive teeth and can't eat it as quick as he can, basically.
Yeah, of course.
So it was just like it just felt like a really nice normal sort of day. And yeah, probably one of the nicest days overall in terms of being able to transition. And he kept it together, because the last time that we did his hair, we then went to gym and he was dysregulated towards the end. He had a little bit of a mini meltdown wanting to leave, and it kind of put a down on the day. So I just feel like we turned a corner here with the whole hair cutting. It was only our second time like trying to get him involved in it, because normally historically we've had to sort of hold him at some point to actually get to the bits to do it. And yeah, it actually felt like it went really quickly as well. And before we knew it, it was like 5:30. James walked in from work and was like, we've had a really good day today. So he'd had 2 really good days in a row, which was good. And then he went on his club for the next 2 days, and then I didn't really see him that much for those 2 days. So yeah, that was my win, really. Just
love it.
Really, really nice solo parenting day. Like, arguably couldn't have gone much better. So
when you start it with like, oh, you're not in this mood today, I better cancel our send gym, and I'll try and do something that's really challenging. Wow, we got through that. The rest of the day, let's just accept is okay. And then something else good happens, which is child-led. Yeah, proper win.
Yeah,
that is the thing. What we talk about, it gives as much as it takes away. The neurodivergence of being the parent of those kids is that it will surprise you, and if you're chronicling, it makes you sit in that joy for a little bit longer. I love that.
Yeah, more days like that, please.
Yeah, well, let's see if any of those days are on the calendar as we look forward to look ahead to the week ahead. It's look ahead to the week ahead. What have you got on the calendar coming up next week, my friend?
So
your second week of Easter. Oh no, you're back at school.
Ha ha, funny. No.
Hey, there's not gonna be. I think there's one a year that I'm probably gonna be able to do. So I may as well do it.
That's your annual joke. No, that's fine. Yeah. So next week it's back to school. We have got. We did also go to the gym again on Saturday or yesterday, and that went pretty smoothly in terms of not wanting to hang around the car park and not attend. So we got that down for Saturday. We've got a quiet week in terms of Frankie activities. There are none. It is school, and hopefully we can continue our 9 for 9, make it a 10 for 10 tomorrow in terms of getting up and making the school bus with no real challenges. Sure. We got gym at the weekend. as well. So after that, potentially it's mummy daddy date afternoon. We're gonna just try
Hey.
and go out, maybe go cinema or just have a bit of a mooching around the local shops or whatever. And Nanny and Grandad are coming over, I believe, to have play date with Frank. And then we've got a trip to our friends before pod recording, going over there
Okay.
for a lunch. So quiet week and a busy weekend. So we'll see how the busy weekend goes with it being first week back to school.
Cool.
So tune in to hear how it goes.
Nice.
Very pensful look there, my friend.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
what some of
suppose
this
because
is.
you've got every day's going to be different, isn't it? Because you're on Easter.
Yeah, I don't know what a lot of this is. I didn't put a lot of this into this calendar. So, no, there isn't much. I'll tell you what is definitely coming up is that Mabel, when she goes back to school, has some mock exams. And I think you remember there was a challenge the other week where she was in a bit of a stress at her new school, trying to print things off and trying to be like, I need this, I need this, I need this mark scheme, I need
Yep.
all of this. Like she packed up a bag full of printing off stuff to revise from. And that felt in that moment, oh, I've got all of the stuff I need. And so this was always going to be the week where that work was going to potentially be done.
Yes.
So there will be a bit of overlap of me checking in on that because she's important to her.
Yep.
Uh,
Which is obvious because printing off a bag full of paper implies you want to be well prepared and feel like you're doing something. So
yeah, but also for her, I think that's done now. So it's like, I've done that.
oh right,
I've
okay.
printed
So
off
you think
loads.
it's more because
And
I've read it as I printed
well,
it?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see during next week to find out. She also will, on a daily basis, get the opportunity to have some social time, I imagine. So it's going to be about managing that. And setting a timetable together is going to be boring and lame, and she won't want to be involved in that. Supposed to be going for some form of picnic on Wednesday
Nice.
with my friends. And yeah, they will. Hopefully, both the kids will be up for that. My friends have kids who are more like primary school age and infants age. But they get on with that. Yeah, they get on with my kids. It's just whether I can get my kids to the dance or not because they have other plans and other intentions. So we'll see how that goes. Laura's working a bit on and off, and I do have coursework marking and stuff to do. So I'm going to have to be, a work from home parent a bit while the kids are around. So, yeah, so we shall see how that goes. So yeah, a relatively unbusy week. So like
How are you going to
busy first week.
How are you going to approach the marking? Do you just go like, oh, Thursday's my day to do it, or do you try and do like mini sessions every day and just do it?
I wish it were a day. I teach 2 subjects both at A level and GCSE. So and my responsibility is for all of the coursework.
Right.
So I've got all of those to do. So that is a lot of kids. And it's
Great naps. Love that.
It's yeah. Well, I realised I was adding
You're
it
on
up.
holiday. I appreciate.
Nobody watching and listening needs to know how much work I've got to do. But it should be done. It should really be done. If I take a day for each GCSE and then a day for each A level, I should be able to do the marking across 4 half days. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
life gets in the way.
Well, also, if you're a teacher and you're listening, I know there are some or people who have been in that profession, like my cousin, and then thought, maybe I'll get out of this and just be more present in my family life. No, I'm joking. Yeah, like you know what marking work is like if you are emotionally invested in those kids and their futures. particularly with coursework, because you have to have certain lines about how much support you give and how much support you aren't allowed to give, and you can't do like specific rewrites. So it is a general, like, this is it. Like, I can't give this work back and say, could you improve this section? And some of those kids would have let themselves down a little bit, or it won't be to their fullest potential. And when you come across a kid who's ended up doing something which is really undercutting them, and it's for their final coursework, I, not all teachers, but I feel it. So I'm like, it takes me, I know every year it takes me longer because I feel sad for a little part. And then I go, okay, cool, let's move on. And because creative subjects is so joyful to do, and then I have to do the kind of less joyful packaging so it can go off to an exam board and they can see specifically where the marks got. And so I call it the monetization of creativity. But this is my job, and it's okay. Don't know.
I appreciate you sharing your the process there. But yeah,
I mean, thanks for continuing to listen. If you've done that,
back in the room,
back in the room. Not a teacher, but for now, am a parent. Cool, nice. All right. Well, I very much hope that transitioning tomorrow morning goes ahead, be it via walking, cabbing, or bus, or ice cream van, or however you get to school. I hope it's positive. Cool.
I can imagine Frankie actually chasing the ice cream man to his school. I think could happen. So maybe I might try and get his number next time he comes. Let's go, mate. If I need you in a pinch, could you be there?
Love that.
So would Frank.
Cool. At the end of this pod, it's always nice for us to say thank you very much for listening. It continues to be true that Dan and I found this really useful to meet and chat. And if you're listening and it also is useful for you to consider that, and maybe you've even started chronicling or journaling your little wins and challenges as a parent of a child, be it neurodivergent or non, cool. We love that. And yeah, if you want to see some clips of us that are the little nuggets of the things that we've been chatting about for 44 episodes now, please go check us out on Instagram and TikTok. And if you want to get in touch about anything at all, please drop us an email at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Well, from me, Ben, in the middle of my Easter break, and Dan from the end of their Easter break, we hope that wherever you are in yours, you have had enough wins to be able to balance out, and certainly some to chronicle. And the reason we think that, and the reason I'm pushing that, is because Dan's going to tell you 3 things.
So here at the NeuroDADverse, our sort of 3 core beliefs of why we believe this was a good idea to record our parenting weekly updates is to let you all know that you are enough, you are doing great, and you are certainly not alone. Win the week.
Have good energy. That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.